The silence in the Rosemeadow cul-de-sac was shattered by the guttural screamer sound that ripped through the quiet Sydney night just after 1:30 a.m. It wasn't the usual weekend revelry from the nearby RSL nor the distant drone of planes heading to Kingsford Smith. This was a primal cry of terror cutting through the humid air, carrying with it a chilling premonition of irreversible horror. Imagine waking suddenly disoriented to that sound. Imagine realizing it's coming from your neighbor's home, a place where children played just yesterday, where a family had built a life. This was the moment the lives of an entire street, an entire community, irrevocably changed. The street, like so many in Sydney's sprawling southwest, was a tapestry of brick veneer and tiled roofs, a testament to the Australian dream of a quarter-acre block. In one of these homes lived the Sharma family, a mother, a father, 2 adult sons and a younger daughter. They were a family like many others, navigating the pressures of mortgages, the rising cost of living, and the everyday joys and frustrations that define Australian family life. Their home in Rosemeadow, nestled amongst similar properties, was their sanctuary, a place of shared meals, school homework, and the quiet comfort of routine. The younger son, a 32-year-old, had, like many young Australians, faced his own battles. We often hear stories of families struggling, of the silent pressures that can build within 4 walls, unseen by the world outside. The Sharmas were no different, their private struggles often veiled behind closed doors, beneath the surface of outwardly normal behavior. This was not a family living in a grand mansion insulated from the real world, but a working-class family striving for their own slice of the fair go. Caught in the relentless pace of life in a major city. Then came that Sunday morning, the 3rd of May 2026. What transpired inside the Sharma home in those early hours remains a terrifying sequence of events that the courts are still trying to unravel. At approximately 1:30 a.m. New South Wales police received an urgent call, reports of a violent assault unfolding within the Rosemeadow address. When officers arrived, what they found was a scene of unspeakable tragedy. 3 members of the Sharma family, the mother, the father, and one of their adult sons, were dead. Another family member, the younger daughter, was gravely injured, having also been attacked. The 32-year-old son, the same individual who had called for help, was taken into custody. It was a moment of shocking brutality that left seasoned officers visibly shaken, a stark reminder of the darkest corners of human behavior. How could such violence erupt in a place meant to be safe, a home filled with love and history? The precise details of what led to this horrific incident, the arguments, the grievances, the escalating tensions, these are the pieces of a deeply fractured puzzle that the legal system is now tasked with piecing together. The community reeled, grappling with the incomprehensible truth that such an act could occur on their quiet street, a place where neighbors knew each other's names and kids rode bikes down the footpath. The legal machinery, slow and deliberate, immediately began to turn. The 32-year-old son was charged with 3 counts of murder and 1 count of attempted murder. This wasn't a civil dispute to be heard at NCAT, nor an employment issue for the Fair Work Commission. This was a matter of life and death, of the most profound breach of trust imaginable, destined for the higher courts of New South Wales. He was due to appear in court that Monday, a mere day after the horrific events, the weight of the charges already pressing down. The court process would be long and arduous, a grueling journey through evidence, testimony, and the cold logic of the law, all against the backdrop of unimaginable grief for the surviving family members. Prosecutors would present their case meticulously, detailing the events of that night, drawing on forensic evidence, police interviews, and any statements from the injured daughter once she was able to speak. The defense would in turn explore all avenues, potentially arguing for diminished responsibility, mental health issues, or other factors that might explain though never excuse such a catastrophic outburst of violence. The stakes were immeasurable: a man's freedom and the community's desperate need for answers and justice for the lives so cruelly taken. What truly happened in those minutes in that Rosemeadow home that led to such an unthinkable outcome? The resolution of a case like this is never simple, never clean. The initial court appearances are just the beginning of a long and complex process. The 32-year-old man, now identified as the accused, faces the full force of the criminal justice system. If convicted, the penalties for murder in New South Wales are among the most severe, reflecting the community's abhorrence of such crimes. For the surviving daughter, the outcome will be a lifetime sentence of trauma, grappling with the loss of her entire immediate family and the knowledge of who was allegedly responsible. Justice in these profound criminal matters is not just about a verdict or a sentence, it is about accountability, about the community's response to an act that tears at the very fabric of society. There is no dollar figure, no tribunal ruling that can bring back the lives lost or heal the wounds inflicted. The legal system, in its cold, precise way, will attempt to find the truth, to assign responsibility, and to impose a consequence. But for the Sharma family and for the Rosemeadow community, the shadow of that night will linger long after the court proceedings conclude. A permanent scar on the quiet streets of suburban Sydney. Was justice truly served, or merely enacted in the face of such devastation? This horrific case, while extreme, brings into sharp focus the silent struggles that can exist within Australian homes, and the vital importance of community support and mental health awareness. For everyday Australians, cases like this underscore that if you or someone you know is struggling with extreme distress or exhibiting concerning behaviour, resources are available. The law under the Crimes Act 1900 New South Wales clearly defines the grave offences of murder and attempted murder, and the police have a duty to investigate and protect. But beyond the black letter of the law, there is a human element. If you or a loved